Okay, so let's make a vidcast about sauerkraut. This is another method. Ready, set, let's do this. So you could use a knife to shred your cabbage for the sauerkraut. And yes, stay till the end because I'm going to give you some really good tips, and this is going to be a quick video on how to make sauerkraut in small or huge quantities. I have tons of these ready to be in the brine, and yes, the idea is to ferment the cabbage, make it into sauerkraut, and by the end of the video you'll have an idea of how to do it yourself and in any way you want. Like, you could use a knife, you could use your shredder, and you could use the food processor, which is what I used. Okay, and if you are excited about this, hit the like button. Oh, the like is like this. Okay, like, yes, and also share with your friends this idea of making something really good for you, for your immune system, for your abs to stay flat, and for your spirit to be high. Yes, it's really good to control our stress. Amazing, right? How some foods can actually be our medicine. Yes, this is total medicinal food. So yeah, without further ado, let me get into that. And I think I already told you in my past video that was longer that this is liked by everyone. Of course, there's some varieties, like with some sweet carrots and a tiny bit of garlic, that are more palatable. They are more liked by kids. So not all varieties are gonna be liked by everyone, but the basic one, the bare one that we're making right here, and check out the show notes also for the link of makesauerkraut.com. You can learn so many more ways and so many details, and you could become really like a specialist. I am becoming better at it, and that's why I think I can make this video quicker and more to the point. It's like, okay, this is what you have to do. So I'm gonna actually use the cabbage I already shredded. Okay, I'm going to weigh it, and that's something else that in the previous video I told you it was like 800 grams of cabbage, whether it's shredded like this. This is my past batch. All right, not too fine, but the idea is for it to be as fine as a quarter. Okay, that's approximate way to say it in julienne, right? And it could be coarse, but then, you know, there's also a possibility of shredding it this way, so this works too. All right, and this is how we're going to make it this time. And so 800 grams per 1 tablespoon of sea salt. I prefer pink salt or Himalayan salt. Here you have it. All right, so this is it, just 2 ingredients, simple, basic. And what happens is that when you get the cabbage with the salt at whatever level, okay, because this is the same source I got that you can use, actually a whole kilo. So we're going to use 500 grams. We're going to do like half a batch. For 1 kilo, you're going to actually use 1 tablespoon. So I don't know which is better because I haven't really tested them scientifically like I used to when I was a student at the university. You know, everything was exact. And it's not an exact science, but yes, you can get closer to the result that you actually want by trying out different salt concentrations. So whether it's 800 grams per 1 tablespoon or that 1 tablespoon of pink salt for 1 kilo, I don't know yet. So I'm trying out different ones. And the great thing about it being really salty is that you can add it to any kind of food. And yes, then it's going to be more salty and more nutritious and more delicious, and yes, full of friendly lab, which is lactic acid bacteria, basically. My hands are clean, everything is clean here, okay? And I even have a rag with half water, half vinegar, which I recommend to wipe all the surfaces where you're going to be working. And yes, we already peeled the outer leaves, okay? That's something that I explained in the previous video. So we're using the best leaves, and what's interesting about this, as I place this in my balance to actually weigh this and make sure this is actually half a kilo or 500 grams, I find it so interesting that with the lab, with the friendly bacteria, what happens is that we get rid of the pesticides. The pesticides actually degrade, if it has any pesticides. And if you don't have access to organic cabbage, don't worry, because then this is a really great way. Okay, there's not that much light right here, and I'm gonna need my glasses because the balance has really small numbers. So let's check it out. And this is just 400 grams. So let's add another 100 grams of beautifully, very uniform. As you can see, it's not totally sliced. This looks like popcorn. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of popcorn. I'm hungry, and that's my favorite snack of all. Well, not my favorite. I like almonds. I like walnuts. Oh my goodness, I think I'm gonna have to shred some more because this is not exactly 500 grams, but then, you know, we could do an approximate measure. All right, so this is approximately 450. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something in between. So what I mean is that instead of using 400 grams or 500 grams, well, you know, life as it is. Oh, this is a really good balance that I recommend. I'm not being an affiliate for it, but it's really handy and not expensive. So I have all this cabbage, 450 grams with 1 tablespoon of salt is what I mean. So I'm going to try something intermediate. You know, 1 tablespoon per 800 or per 1,000 grams in this case. Let's try half a batch, in which case it would be 900 grams for 1 tablespoon. And I do have the half a tablespoon right here ready to measure my salt, so it won't be so messy, meaning that, you know, getting organized and at least knowing how much salt you added, and then you try it and you see if that's the right amount and the proportion that you want. But the salt has magic, has a magic effect over the cabbage. You know what it does? Okay, by a process called osmosis, okay, the intracellular water actually gets out, because it wants a balance between the salt that's in and the salt that's out of the vegetable. So we're gonna have something coming out which is called brine, and it's actually like high salt water, and it's gonna be great. So, you know, for next video I'm gonna show you how the water comes out, and even at the beginning you could feel it getting getting wetter, getting more humid. You can feel it in your hands, and it gets kind of shiny. So I'm going to show you this just in a few seconds that we started, and this is going to be video number 1 for you to understand how easy it is, really. And it's not a huge process. And if you're practical like me, you're going to use a food processor unless, you know, you really like to take the therapeutic time to just be slicing the vegetables or cutting them the right way. But as you can see from my previous production, look here, it's not that uniform. I mean, I like it too. But we also have to like get rid of pieces that are not the same size, because we want, for instance, I would get this out. I could even eat it because, why? Because if the pieces are too different, the larger pieces will take longer to ferment. We're talking about lactic acid bacteria, the lab bacteria, especially lactobacillus, different strains that work under no oxygen or anaerobic conditions. And this I'm also going to be massaging, by the way, until we get it ready. And yes, after this is sitting for about 10 minutes or so, and we get all the brine that we can possibly get out of it. I like to have a puddle at the bottom, okay? And, you know, for the next video, you're going to see how we actually pack it, and we have the brine on top. You see the brine? There, that liquid, that's what I want to create by leaving the cabbage with the salt for a longer time. Sometimes I'll have it there half an hour, 1 hour. So try it out. It also depends on your temperature. But in my case, it's about 22 degrees centigrade and sometimes 25. I don't know. But you can't just leave it in the sun. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be too high temperature and it's going to be fermented too quickly. So yeah. Okay. So I'm ready to go. Now you know how to do it. And as I always say at the end, I have some really good tips for you to know about your lifestyle and how you can eat and drink mostly plant-based towards vegan. Although you don't have to be a vegan to enjoy this amazing sauerkraut that you're actually going to be leaving, just for you to know, at least 1 week out. It's like out of the fridge. And then, you know, after 3 or 4 weeks, if it's really under the brine and if it's really kept anaerobically, yeah, even though these bacteria on the cabbage, some bacteria are on the outside, and you're going to leave some of the leaves for the process of packing. Okay, so once we pack, we actually add some of those leaves that are previously washed. But yes, those bacteria do survive in the oxygen, but eventually what we want is the lactic acid fermentation, which is anaerobic. All right, so this is interesting. You know, just like when we exercise, we get anaerobic exercise and the lactic acid, you know, that muscle pain that comes in the moment, like when you're getting to those last reps, it's like, okay, that's lactic acid. Same thing here. So it's anaerobic And it's really interesting, I consider. So we got some chemistry here, osmosis, the anaerobic fermentation, producing lactic acid, and so much more to tell you about these bacteria. So in the podcast especially, I recommend that you tune in, because in the videos or in the VIDCAST, I don't explain everything, but then we go deeper into the science, and then we start finding out which of the species of lactobacillus appear the first week and then the next week, and how they taper off, and how the good bacteria are capable of basically eating up, destroying, eliminating all the bad bacteria. So you're going to have a really, really powerful gut microbiome, which is the basis of your health, really. It's that simple. Yes, this is totally food medicine. Medicine is thy food, as yes, Hippocrates showed us. So let thy food be thy medicine, and remember, also move around more, get physical. Yes, you can see my bike there. I think you can see some of my weights and my books, you know, because you also have to have the right mindset, and also always be feeding yourself not only good foods, good drinks, but also good thoughts, and that work for you and for other people, so you can be the kinder and the best version of yourself, because you taking care of yourself really makes all the difference in the world. Mwah. Thank you so much. And if you love this idea of just using 2 ingredients to enhance your health, then please share with other people. I would really, really love it, as well as subscribe with all the bell notifications, so that you can join me for the lives, for the premieres, or première, right? Première. I gotta practice that French. Anyway, so thank you. Mwah. Au revoir.